Now, I'm sure you guys remember that last week we did a video looking at our left wing-back saviour. I'm of course talking about Patrick Dorgu, but then he played on the right-hand side of the pitch, didn't he? Well, this week he did actually play on the left-hand side. I mean, look, he played on the left. Here, he's playing on the left side of the pitch, and I actually thought he had a really good performance against Tottenham. And I think we saw naturally the improvement in terms of balance you see in the Manchester United team when you get that left footer on the left side of the pitch. For me, this performance showed why he must play in this position moving forward, even though he can do a job on the other side. That is, of course, what we are going to be looking at in today's video. Before we do that, if you could please subscribe to the channel, it would be greatly appreciated. So press subscribe, and then we'll get into the video. So before we actually get into talking about anything tactically, I do just want to talk about Dorgu individually. I think physically he handled himself really well in this game. There was a concern when we first signed him that when you sign a player that has physically dominated a weaker league, he may not have the technique when he moves to the Premier League. But in this game, his dueling capacity was fantastic. In fact, his first 7 duels, he actually won them all by himself. He did a really good job of winning free kicks, drawing fouls, but also winning the ball back for Manchester United. So that was something that I think he did well, and for him as an individual, it's really important. In terms of as a collective for the team, what was important was that left footer on the left side of the pitch. It completely changed the angles as Manchester United were trying to play out from the back, particularly when we actually had the ball on the right hand side and then would sort of gradually move the ball to the left where there's a bit more space. So let's say we're building the ball over here with Mazraoui, for example. We know that Spurs are going to come over to try and get some pressure on the ball, but in moments United were able to move the ball across the pitch to Patrick Dorgu. Now, because Spurs are drawn over to the left, when Dorgu receives the ball, he's actually got a little bit of time. And this is where we saw the benefit of having a left footer on this side of the pitch. You see, when we have a right footer, we have this time on this side of the pitch, but actually the first touch comes back inside the pitch into this position, almost actually back towards the crowd a little bit. Whereas Dorgu, being left-footed, actually just quickly looked to get the ball out of his feet, across his body, away from the opposition, before then playing forward. And what it's done was it just increased the speed of our attack down this side of the pitch as we were moving the ball. You can see Maguire plays the ball to Dorgu here, and for Dorgu, it's very simple. He's got time. All he needs to do is take one touch to get the ball under control, shift it out of his feet like so, and then move the ball forward. Again, because he was left-footed, he could do things a little bit quicker without having to work it back inside onto his stronger foot. If he had had to cut inside before doing this, the Spurs players might have collapsed and actually closed off the space. But as it was, Dorgu found the pass. And there were several moments where he was doing this, and just naturally, we saw left-footed passes. Of course we did, he's a left-footed player. Now, this isn't necessarily a breakdown of Dorgu's profile specifically, actually more so the benefit of the left footer on the left. You can see again here, receiving the ball, opening his body up, opening up the whole pitch. He now can see everything. He can see everything ahead of him, rather than coming back inside onto his right foot. Being left-footed is giving him just that little bit more time compared to someone like Diogo Dalot. And then, again, with the left, he can use that space to play the ball forward up to Rasmus Højlund on this occasion. But the important thing is, because he's playing outside, we don't have to try and go through this lot. There are several Spurs players there. A right footer coming inside, trying to play through, would have found it difficult. But Dorgu could actually just sort of go long over it with the left foot up to Rasmus Højlund. And again, I believe we've just got one more clip of the left-footed passing. It's in moments like this where, again, he's got time on the ball, which is important. It's when he's got time, he can speed up, he can use the time. And again, this is a really nice pass inside the pitch. If he was right-footed and actually had to cut inside, chances are those Spurs players would have cut off the pass. So what Dorgu was doing was just speeding things up. And actually, I lied, there is one more pass. It's just this little slide one forward. Again, speeding up the play. I think this is something that United have lacked recently. Dorgu brought it to the team. Now, as well as giving us that sort of natural left footer on the left who can play wide and stretch the pitch and all of that, Dorgu also showed tactical versatility as well. Like we saw when he played on the right, sometimes he would play wide, sometimes he would come inside the pitch. And he was doing the same from this position as well. Now, I don't think he himself done an awful lot when he came inside. You know, when he moved inside the pitch with the ball, there were moments where he had good footwork and, again, could win a foul or something like that. But outside of that, he didn't do anything too impressive. But what's more important is the tactical effect it has on his teammates, but also the Spurs players. Because, of course, when Dorgu moves inside, Garnacho can move a little bit wider. But also, naturally, this gives us easier access to Garnacho, who is sort of our main dribbler on the left-hand side. You see, if Dorgu's wide like this, Kulusevski is going to sit in this position, Bergvaul's going to move across, Maddison as well, and what we can see is that it's quite difficult to actually move the ball down this side. Whereas as Dorgu comes into the pitch, he brings Kulusevski with him, and it just opens up that easier passing lane. Again, this was something that Dorgu's willingness to move inside allowed United to do. Dalot was doing something similar, to be fair, when he was in the team. But Dorgu, again, perhaps just does it a bit more naturally, again, because he wants to play on the left side of the pitch. On this occasion, he's carrying the ball inside himself. He's picking the ball up, he's driving inside. I like this confidence. And he's got a gravity about him, a tactical gravity. What I mean by that is, when he gets the ball, opposition players don't like to be 1 versus 1 with him. And that is often the case with big, strong guys. You know, if this is a 5'9" player picking the ball up in the middle of the pitch, the Spurs defenders, one of them probably trusts himself to get over, lean on him and shove him off the ball. Because Dorgu is so big and strong, he draws more players towards him. And that means that someone else is going to have more space. And on this occasion, it's Garnacho who can get the ball and actually move the ball forward. Again, this is good. It got more out of Garnacho. Even though Garnacho himself didn't actually have the best game, Dorgu's narrow positioning, his confidence on the ball, but also awareness of when you actually can't take people on and you've got to go backwards, it gave us that easy access. Kulusevski, the right winger, is drawn so narrow by Dorgu here, which allows Dorgu to find Garnacho again in a dribbling moment. Now obviously it's great to see Dorgu doing all of this, starting wide and then driving inside the pitch to make more room for Garnacho. We love to see that. But ultimately what we were talking about the most when Dorgu first signed was the fact that his left foot in the final third gives us a little bit more. He wants to play wide, he wants to overlap, and he was doing that still in this game. So he may have been, you know, earlier in the play often moving inside. There were also plenty of situations where Garnacho would have the ball and come inside, or even Bruno Fernandes would pop up over there as well, and Dorgu is really going to put in the effort to get round. Now what's important here is, first of all, that he wants to do this. He actually wants to fly around on the overlap. If you're right-footed, again, you're a bit more hesitant, because when you get the ball, it's not on your natural foot. Dorgu, being left-footed, wanted to bomb forward, but also in terms of, more specifically about him, he's got incredible athleticism. His stride length is brilliant, he's got really good power as he moves forward into the space, and he is excellent at arriving into this area. Unfortunately, I just didn't feel that United used him enough. The space was there for him to attack really regularly in this match, really regularly. But United, if I actually find a clip, didn't use it often enough. In moments like this, you can see the athleticism. He's willing to get round. He draws Porro with him. He draws Porro away. This gives Garnacho more time on the ball because Dorgu has drawn a defender. But can we actually give the ball to Dorgu? Because Garnacho isn't really going anywhere with this. He's not really going to go anywhere. There's too many Spurs players there. Could he have played Dorgu wide into that position? I think he probably could. Perhaps this is a habit because we haven't had this sort of threat recently. Perhaps we're not used to playing the pass. When we did play the pass, Dorgu was clearly a player who had the physicality, the pace, the athleticism to get into these positions. Again, this pass isn't very good. I actually couldn't get the arrow high enough to show just how high this pass went. It was sort of scuffed a little bit from Casemiro. But again, you can see the idea. Dorgu wants to attack this space. And what I like most about when Dorgu's trying to get into these positions is he can use his body here to win the foul. So the pass wasn't great from Casemiro, but United still got a free kick from it. But what I actually liked even more was that Dorgu's runs forward asked questions of Spurs, and I've said that a lot recently. Teams always ask questions of United. We need to start flipping it. We need to ask questions of the other team. Dorgu was doing that in this match with these runs. You can see now, suddenly Kulusevski and Porro are on the back foot. This is Spurs' right back and right winger, dropping deep into these positions. Kulusevski is in the back four here. This is good. This is what we need to do more of. Ask the questions of the other team. Dorgu's willingness to get forward allowed us to do that. Yes, the final ball was lacking. This pass isn't very good at all. But in general, just a willingness to get into these positions, to fly around on the overlap. And again, that left-footed passing angle is nice. It does give us a lot. And this is actually really good to find Rasmus Højlund in a shooting position. We need to use this more. Here, Dorgu isn't even in shot at the start of the move. You can't even see him. This is a willingness to get forward. This is a desire to get into the final third. And Bruno Fernandes was one of the few players who actually passed to him regularly into these positions. Although, like I said, the final ball was lacking. Now, whilst the final ball for Dorgu was lacking, you know, the end product wasn't really there, I do still want to talk about the simplicity of all of this. It was really easy for Dorgu to get into a crossing position. All it took was a good first touch, then work the ball out of your feet, and then it's already on your left foot. It's on your strong foot. Very early, again, if we're talking about speed here, very early you can get the delivery in towards the penalty area. Another moment like this, Dalot crosses from the right-hand side. Dorgu sort of chases the loose ball. And again, because he's left-footed, he doesn't have to work this ball, he doesn't have to manipulate it, he doesn't have to beat a man. He can just swing the cross straight back into the box. Although this particular cross was awful. I believe it went straight behind for a goal kick. But you get the idea. It's really simple for him in these positions. Let me just move myself over here for a moment. It's really easy for him, really straightforward. Receive the ball, take a good first touch, get it out your feet, and then can you find a cross? And on this occasion, he actually found Casemiro really well. I think this gives United a better balance because it allows us to cross on both sides of the pitch. And actually, having played one Premier League game for Manchester United, Dorgu is now in the top 12 for United players playing crosses into the box. That shows what he was bringing to this team. It shows that United have lacked that this season, those deliveries into the middle. Hopefully, with Dorgu on the left and perhaps Dalot on the right, or it might be someone else moving forward, it allows us to work the ball into the box just a little bit quicker. And United have been crying out for that, a bit of speed in the way that we play. And actually almost just a bit of simplicity. You know, you've got Højlund in there who's big, you've got Xerxes in there who's big, Bruno will arrive late. Get the ball in the box. Get the ball in the box, and Dorgu was trying to do that. The end product does need a lot of work, and I did highlight that when he first signed. He's not the finished article. But I think tactically, Dorgu really simplifies things, and his physical traits also really helped United get up the pitch, again, win free kicks, keep the ball, etc., all of that stuff. So overall, I think Dorgu had a really good game on the left, and I want to see him playing here again. But those are just my thoughts, my opinions on the situation. I want to hear yours in the comments down below. What side do you prefer Dorgu? Is he better on the left or is he better on the right? And also, how can we make more of those crossing opportunities? Because in this game, we really did get into some fantastic positions. We just couldn't find that final pass. So again, let me know what you think in the comments down below. But apart from that, we are finished for today. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.